So we're here at our brokerage. Today we're just gonna be doing our mastermind that we do every single Thursday with the team. We've got our in-house property management, Blue House, coming in to chat, and we're just gonna go get started.
No, I just feel like I'm spending a lot of time servicing the business right now instead of behind new business.
My perspective on that is like it's back to like expectations, right? The business is more challenging. There's going to be times when there's less inventory, people are more picky, buyers have taken a different approach, they're bringing parents back in, they have time, right? So all those things change the dynamic of the game. Like have that initial meeting with people and like really set the expectation. Commit to the things that are really important. So you have to keep lead genning every day, right? We talk about that with you guys like day in and day out. It's spend the time there, but then when you've got those clients, it is going to be about setting those expectations earlier. What do you feel like is the biggest challenge with it? Is it that you're spending more time with each deal trying to get it done for people, or is it that just in general you're worn out because of it, because it's compounding almost?
Both. Like yesterday I had this listing appointment and I was almost like, I didn't call to like follow up because I was always okay not to go because I was so tired. Right. We're going back and forth on one time, and then I'm like, I don't even care if she doesn't call me. I'm not going to call her.
Right.
I would never, like, I would be at her door. Like, normally I'd be like, hello, like, I'm,
right.
You know what I mean? But I was like, oh, totally fine if she didn't call me. Not a good place to be because I was just so burnt out.
One of the big things, obviously, is part of it is going to be using leverage, right? So this goes for everybody. One of the things we've always told you guys is no matter where your business is, if you're brand new in the business and you've never done a deal yet, you still need to build your foundation in your business as if it's, you're running with 20 listings at a time. We've built leverage that works for top producing agents like Christy and I that can run with that kind of business at a time so that you guys can take advantage of those, that same leverage for yourselves. So you want to have your hand in it. We have to understand that they do those things better than us, right? And I know that sometimes it's like, it's going to take me longer to message Britt or message Krista or call them to then have them do it when I could just do it myself, right? And that's how I felt for the longest time, but that starts to compound and it takes your energy and all of those things. So when you can start like setting it up and planning it out that way and having that leverage take over, it really will, especially your business is too busy now to not use it. We're advisors, right? Like that's like one of the key components that we're hired for. We're not just showing agents going there and showing properties for people or listing agents that are just putting a sign in the lawn, right? We're there. The main component for them besides negotiating is advising, right? Like we're consulting and advising our clients. So we have to be doing that. And part of that is keeping them informed on what's going on, right? Whether it's, things that are going on through like government, things that are happening, interest rate updates, or the market itself, right? And what's going on there and keeping them up to date with that. So those expectations are massive.
One thing that resonated with me is that it is more important than ever to book a formal appointment with buyer.
Yes.
And if you've been running with a buyer for say 4-6 months, it's time to book another buyer appointment with them. So we have to sit down with our buyers and re-educate them on the process to prepare them for making a move on a property when the right one presents itself. Right now, more than ever, if you haven't taken the time to sit with that buyer or revisit that conversation again, set those expectations, even if it's a Zoom call, the formal presentation is going to help. Are you guys experiencing a lack of inventory? Is it hard to place a buyer right now?
I'm finding that offer dates are coming back.
Yeah.
Then you have to be strategic about offer date because it goes listed a little bit lower. Are you going to alter it on that date? Or are you going to see if there's sales or not? How many offers go in? If there's 0 offers, what's your plan? Is there 5 off?
Go back to January, February last year. Everyone knew that the market was crazy and there were multiples on everything, and the strategy for selling was the same across the board. It was underprice your listing or price it at market value, hold offers, you're going to get a bidding war, right? Then it shifted and it was the opposite. It was, price it, hope for the best, maybe have to reduce it, set those expectations. no holding offers, no bidding wars, all of that. Now we're in this transitional period again where it's like, which way is the market going? There's some like really active agents who are seeing it all the time, and so they're ahead of it. There's some sellers who, you know, are way behind and still back in that market and don't know what to do. Buyers are leading the way again. This person's hearing this thing that this just happened, so they're like, okay, I'm gonna do that too, and then their house sits for a month. So there's this confusion in the market right now of people don't know where it goes. My experience in the 2 million plus range, more luxury stuff, is that it has been sitting a little bit, right? Like there's the odd one that goes crazy, like then there's these one-offs, right? But most of the time, if there's any kind of supply or inventory there, I still feel like that market's a little bit slower and softer. I don't know, Jax, you can speak to it better than me even.
Getting turnkey, I think, is what's the action.
Yes.
Wanting to renovate is what I've seen. There's a lot more inventory. Areas where there's been no inventory for years, and something would sell right away. There's all of a sudden like 5 listings and they're all sitting. It's almost like it's lost its appeal.
Yes.
More inventory.
Think about what's changed in the market. One of the big things that's changed is you can't really flip a house for money too easily these days, right? So the idea of like renovating, buying a house that you're gonna like renovate, or buying a house that needs renovations, plus it's super expensive to do that right now. Most people are looking for more turnkey. You have that place that needs hundreds of thousands of dollars on it. There was a point where that, you know, people were saying, I'm buying today, and even if I do nothing to the house in 2 months, it's worth $100,000 more. If I go and put $100,000 into it, it becomes worth $300,000 more. So I'm good, right? Whereas today, you buy that same house, you put the 100 grand into it, there's not really a market for that yet, right? So I think that's like turnkey is definitely what's moving these days.
Buy first sell. I was just going to get to that because it's hard because your clients don't want to sell until they can buy something, until they know. They're like this, I don't want the risk of like being homeless if I sell first, right? And he said, but there's another risk there, right? The risk is not knowing what you have as purchasing power without selling your home first.
Yeah.
So which risk is for you? It's based on the individual. Which risk do you feel more confident in? Because if we sell first, we'll ask for a long closing. Maybe I show you a couple of houses so you feel confident that we're going to find something in that time. We ask for a 90-day closing and then we have time to shop. I'm telling people, if it were me, I would rather know what I'm going to get for my house, so what I have to shop for. Because I'm also living and breathing the market, I'm confident that we're going to find you the home.
We've always said like the biggest challenge in our business is when you refer somebody to somebody, whatever kind of resource they are for you, that then speaks directly to you, right? So when you're passing somebody and then if they get a bad experience, that's now directly correlated to you.
Yeah, I searched high and low for a property management company to team up with because I knew that we were going to need this at some point. With the amount of investors we had in our database, I knew that we couldn't handle leasing all these properties out for them.
And I think the idea behind all this is it's keeping that open communication between Blue House and the fresh approach so we can provide that level of service to our clients that they want and that they need. So these are some of the points that we do when it comes to property management services. So checking in on tenants. We do have a 24/7 emergency line for all tenants or owners if they have any concerns. We do full inspections of the property every 6 months. So we go in, we check everything, we have a report, and then we send that over to the owner. You know, we're going in every 6 months to ensure that their investment is in good hands.
That's what's super cool about it too, because it's a form of touching that client over and over again with somebody who's in-house that's always going to keep bringing your name back.
Yeah, like some people just want to be totally hands off. They're like, I don't have time, like, can you just do this, please? Other people are nervous. They're like, oh, this is my first investment, like, you know, and I'll take them through the whole process, right? Like,
We're flexible. I mean, there's, like you said, there's
Yeah.
investors that want to have nothing to do. They just want to see their invoice at the beginning of the month and that's it.
Yeah.
And then there's other ones that, you know, want to be involved step by step in the tenant placement, all the property management services, and we're okay with that. And to your point, you know, when we get a referral from you guys, you know, I like that little bit of communication in between before, you know, we even meet the
Yeah.
client. Hey, this person, you know, they're very, I don't know, organized. They want their property to look this way, and these are the important things about that person.
Yeah.
Make sure you focus on these things. And that piece of information just goes such a long way. And we just thrive on that because of the feedback that we get from you guys.